What if Goku and Vegeta were from different universes and not Universe 7 collectively? This is something that just kind of sprung to me, and I thought about it in more detail, and I'm like, you know what? I think that'd be interesting because we have to consider that Goku and Vegeta are the way they are now at this point in Dragon Ball Super's lore because they've known each other for. I mean, I would say at this point, Goku and Vegeta have known each other for probably not half their life, but close to that. Maybe between a quarter and 50% of their life they've known each other. That's a considerable amount of time, right? So obviously they're able to understand each other. Goku knows Vegeta is very prideful and selfish sometimes, but he's worked on that so much. Vegeta knows Goku can be an airhead and naive. You know what I mean? They understand things about each other, but they respect each other as warriors of a race, and they're sticking together, and they've essentially made a pact. A silent pact that they are going to be the unified protectors of not just planet Earth, but Universe 7 as a whole. They've both essentially agreed to that without having to say it directly. So they obviously have, like I said, a good level of respect for each other. But if you were to put them in different universes, let's say Vegeta was born in Universe 6 and Goku was born in Universe 7, well, then things get really kind of WTF territory, because you have to consider that if Vegeta was raised, let's say, on planet Sadala in Universe 6, and he actually ends up being the king of that planet of Saiyans, and whether or not he's as strong as he is now, well, I guess it's up to you guys to say, would his experience on planet Sadala turn him into the battle-hardened warrior that he is now because of his experience, in Universe 7. I clearly think he would actually be at a disadvantage if he had been in Universe 6's planet Sadala, just because of the lack of enemies that I think those Saiyans have had to face in comparison to Earth. Now, this is taking nothing away from the Universe 6 Saiyans. I mean, we've clearly seen Kale, Caulifla, Kabe. They are strong, they are formidable warriors, but I think without that experience that the Universe 7 Saiyans have, it's obviously weakened the Universe 6 Saiyans in comparison. Imagine Kale, Kabe, Caulifla with the same amount of battle experience as Goku, Vegeta, and the others. I mean, I think those Saiyans would pretty much be neck and neck. And maybe some people would say Universe 6 would be stronger than 7. I mean, I don't know if we should go that far. But when you look at that, I think it's very important to consider how Vegeta would have grown up in Universe 6, and then Goku would have still probably grown up the same way in Universe 7. Now, you also have to consider this. A Vegeta not knowing Goku for more than half of his life could potentially be a hostile Vegeta, right? Instead of holding back or whatever against Goku, like he did once they eventually kind of came to terms of being allies, quote-unquote. Vegeta has had times and moments where he was close to defeating Goku in battle and, sending Goku up to meet, all of the other people that have suffered unfortunate fates in Dragon Ball. So I think Vegeta would have a chip on his shoulder, not understanding who Goku is, maybe even underestimating Goku. But I think as the battle would rage on, one or two things would happen. Either this Universe 6 Vegeta would continue to grow angry because he can't understand why this aloof Saiyan is so powerful, or he would, during the midst of their battle, slowly but surely start to earn a tad bit of respect for Goku. Kind of like what he has actually already done during the Saiyan arc to an extent, even though they were both literally trying to off each other. It's really crazy to look at how their situation and how their relationship as, like I said, warriors and allies have developed. So, if they were from different universes, the main question is, would anything really change? I've laid out points that I think are important to consider, but would things be that drastically different? Of course, we wouldn't have the on-screen chemistry of them together a lot like we have in the canon current version of Dragon Ball. But if they grew up from different universes and still kind of went about their ways of training in their own ways, like I said, Goku pretty much has the same life as he has in the canon timeline of Dragon Ball. And then Vegeta's timeline would depend on what you think would be best for his character. Whether or not he should just stick with the timeline of what the Universe 6 Saiyans have dealt with. Some pirates like Frost here and there. Some training from their planet Sadala forces, and that's it. That would be the extent of Vegeta's fighting career. Or would Vegeta go on these expeditions? Would he go on these missions with his fellow Saiyan comrades in Universe 6? And instead of just fighting pirates across the universe, they instead fight their own villains, like a Kid Buu, Frieza, Perfect Cell, characters like that. Would that then change Vegeta's mindset? Would that change any sense of his power when you compare it to Son Goku's. I know it can be a little bit convoluted of a question, but just think about whether or not you think the dynamic between Goku and Vegeta would change, whether or not that would make Vegeta stronger than Goku, whether or not that would give Goku the advantage because Vegeta wouldn't have as much battling to do. I'm very curious as to what you guys have to say, because I'd like to know in an alternate timeline, if this were to happen, how the fans would react to Vegeta and Goku being the way that they are, knowing that they're not actually, in an alternate timeline, sharing the same memories, the same fights together that we've all grown up watching them do. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We shall take it from there. As always, appreciate your love and support. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already for more weekly Dragon Ball content. This is part 1 on the series. Depending on what you guys say, I think it'd be interesting to continue into a part 2 to, obviously dive deeper into how this could actually really happen in an alternative timeline, if I could speak correctly, which doesn't always happen, but I do try my best to see exactly what would probably be the most likely scenario with Goku and Vegeta growing up from separate universes, not having gone through the same experiences they've gone through, again, for almost half of their life as existing warriors. So really curious to what you guys have to say. Let us know that in the comment section below. And unfortunately, that is all the time I have for you guys today, but I will see you all later. Goodbye.